And probably my favorite thing that happened this weekend, the Raiders got blanked 31-0 against KC.
Oh,
So, as a California guy, that
uh,
was great. Oh, I feel
I mean,
bad. Like I feel bad for the Raiders, but at the same time, like the fans, but at the same time, it's like, man, like they're
here's the
diehard,
best
they're
part.
loyal,
Here's the
but
best part
mm,
is I know somebody played the Raiders defense.
oh, bro. I mean,
Like you
they
know they
usually
did
play.
somewhere, dude. Somebody
Dude,
did
the
it.
Raiders usually play well against Kansas City too, and I don't know what happened, man. You have a Hall of Fame coach, you have a great offensive coordinator. You just got no line. You got no line, and that's it. Max Crosby got
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, they're I don't know, they got to figure something out. I feel bad for Genty. Hey everyone, welcome back to Encinas Unfiltered. We're informed and filtered on a match. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you can, please comment, because that really does help drive the impressions on YouTube. And I've been noticing the differences between when people do comment and when people don't. So the goal is to kind of educate the public, and especially the new players and vet players. So please go ahead and interact with us. Talk some shit. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you hate it. Do what you got to do. It's all good. We're all here for it. It's all fun at the end of the day. And I will say this every week. We have our membership program. It's 99 cents for the first 100 people. It is a Founders Edition, as X coined it. You'll have access to all membership levels, which our biggest one is Legend, which includes behind the scenes, one-on-one fantasy advice, access to the Discord. There's a lot of perks, merch discounts. I mean, we have a lot of stuff going there. So for 99 cents a month, you can't really beat it, in my personal opinion. And get it while it is still there. I just want to give a big shout out to Fantasy Royale. So Fantasy Royale is ran by Austin Ekeler, and many of you may know him as the running back for the Commanders. I know him as the running back for the Chargers. He was my favorite fantasy football player, PPR format, of course. So his platform has a lot of sponsorships that allow for anybody, your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your wife, to go ahead and enter contests, and it's 100% free. You sign up with your email, your phone number. So there's a bunch of different contests. So there's a free NFL Pick'em contest where you pick basically the games, kind of what we're going to do later in the show. And if you win, you'll get $100 gift card to Homage, which is like a retro NFL style apparel company. It's really cool. I really recommend checking that out. And if you get 100% on your picks, Austin Ekeler has thrown out $1,000 cash that he will pay you if you go 15 for
Oh,
15 or whatever, how many games there are. And that's new to this week. So I would definitely consider doing it. It's free, literally takes 30 seconds. And I really recommend doing that. And I kind of just wanted to share some of the other things that they have going on there. They have, like I said, the weekly football pick'em challenge. They have a basketball survival challenge where you can win a smartphone, a weekly touchdown pick'em where you can win $100 cash, weekly total yards, we can win $100 cash, weekly rushing yards, $100 cash, and a weekly receiving yard, $100 cash. And then they have some tournaments. So you can do the touchdown survivor challenge to win a grill, like a barbecue. You can do the team survivor challenge where you can win a free home theater system. You can do the primetime pick'em where you can win a 70-inch TV, and a hockey where you can win a free laptop. So they have a lot of different stuff going on. It's all 100% free, and I really do recommend checking it out. And I'm all for it. I mean, my wife and I play every week. I think some of the boys here play every week. I
oh,
mean,
I
you can't
do.
really beat free, so
Oh
you
yeah.
got to do it. Free is free, and if you can win real money, why not? So, but with that being said, I kind of wanted to run through what we're going to talk about today. So we got NFL Week 7 recap. So that is our NFL news. Then we got our Week 7 boomer bust. Then we got our Week 8 injury report, our Week 8 buys, some waiver wire pickups. Then we're going to get into our starts and sits. So of course, that's PPR format, QB, running back, receiver, tight end. And I always have to keep saying this, but I keep getting comments on some of our other social media. They're like, where's Jahmyr Gibbs? Where's Lamar Jackson? It's like, those are top tier guys. You're starting them. That's not the guys we're looking for. We're looking for your running back 2, receiver 2, your flex picks, some of the guys that you really are unsure about. These are the guys that we want to talk about for you to start and sit this week. We're going to get into our trade targets for week 8, where this is X's section, and X is going to go absolutely in, give you 4 pillars or 4 advice tips, or what do you want, 4 tips? There you go. So
Oh
give you
yeah.
4 tips, and each week he's going to add 4 tips. So if you haven't seen the tips, go run back into our previous episodes and check those out.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to give you some trade targets for the week. Then we're going to get into our week 8 football bets, which is money line, over, under, and spread. And at the very end, we're going to get into our hot takes. And if you're only here for certain sections, go down and click on the YouTube video. You can actually see the timestamp, and you can go directly to exactly what you're looking for. So all these sections will be laid out there on YouTube, so you can click exactly what you're looking for, and you can go from there. Let's get into some Week 7 recap here, because there was some pretty interesting stuff that happened. Jets lost to the Panthers. Jets are still winless. I mean, this is great. I wish Colby was here to defend Justin Fields on this one. I mean, I guess I had it on later, but Justin Fields got benched. I mean,
Ooh.
Tyrod Taylor starting this week. He's done. That's it.
Yeah, he's
right.
Yeah, he's over.
Then we got the Mike Evans injury. I think that's the biggest one. Everyone's been waiting. All the fantasy football owners waiting for Mike Evans to come back, George Kittle to come back. Mike Evans gets hurt with a concussion, breaks his collarbone. He might come back by the end of the year. I don't really know. Is it going to be in time for fantasy football playoffs? Who knows? Then we had the UNC Bowl, or they called it the Icy Hot Bowl. That was a game, bro. I don't care what anybody says. That was a hell of a game. Did you get a chance to watch that? That was a great game. That was great. And I'm all for the UNC Bowl. I can watch them play every week. Then the Broncos came back against the New York Giants. The Giants were up 26-8 with 10-14 left in the fourth quarter, and there was a walk-off field goal by Will Lutz, dude. Your boy won $181 this week.
Let's go.
So I'll take that all day long. Let's go. They talked about Justin Fields getting benched. Tua got benched. I mean, he threw for 3 interceptions. I'm not really surprised. Is Mike McDaniels going to get fired? Is Tua going to get benched? They put in Quentin Ewers, which I thought was weird. They didn't put in Zach Wilson, but I guess Zach Wilson's the third guy on the depth chart there. Either way, it's not looking good for Miami Dolphins players not named Devontae Chain right now.
Wow.
The Colts are the best record in the NFL. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? 6-1. The Colts. Indiana Jones. You want to shout out your boy? I know your boy's a Colts fan. You want to?
Oh man, I don't
shout your boy out.
You know what? He's been calling it. He's been calling it this whole time. But you know what, though? To be fair, even from a diehard Colts fan, at the beginning of the season, we both said that Daniel Jones was a Band-Aid and not the answer. I think we might be a little bit wrong.
You might.
I mean, you know what? Just a quick little shout out is that this season is actually kind of fun in the sense that a lot of quarterbacks that shouldn't be good have found a system that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually kind of fun to watch these quarterbacks that people are like pretty much shit on all day. And these quarterbacks now found a system that works for them. And you're watching them just excel at high rates. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. From a fan perspective.
For sure. Like you have Daniel Jones, you got Sam Darnold. I know he did well with the Vikings, but I didn't think he was going to do well with the Seahawks. He's doing pretty decent. Mac Jones stepped in and he's doing well for the Niners what's left of their team. I mean, they're still doing pretty well. I mean, who else is doing really well? I mean, Justin Fields didn't really pan out. He started strong. Aaron Rodgers is doing good.
Dart. I mean, I know he's a rookie, but
Jackson Dart.
I know he's a rookie, but he looks like he's found the system that works for him. So
Joe Flacco on the Bengals. Who would have known?
Joe Flacco, dude. All he needed was just one receiver, and that wasn't in Jerry Jeudy, but he found 2. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's definitely been fun. I do agree with that. I just think it's wild that the Colts are 6-1 right now. I'm waiting for them to play a really good team, though. I mean, the Chargers are good, but they're missing Joe Alt.
So when they played the Rams, the Rams are a good team. They played the Rams, and I believe the only reason why they lost was because of the infamous "I'm going to drop the ball right before the end zone" little fumble situation.
Yeah,
I think they would have won, but is what it is.
I mean, there's still some big teams in that division when everyone's healthy. You still got the Bills, you still got the Ravens, you still got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are looking real good right now. I mean, I would like to see them play one of those top playoff teams and see. Yeah. I mean, them against New England would be interesting too.
No, the AFC conference itself is it's still got some power hitters in there. So
right. Yeah, it's exciting to see. And probably my favorite thing that happened this weekend, the Raiders got blanked 31-0 against KC. So, as a California guy, that was great. I feel bad. I feel bad for the Raiders, but at the same time, the fans, but at the same time, it's man,
they're
diehard.
The best
they're
part.
loyal.
Here's the best part is I know somebody played the Raiders defense.
Oh, bro. I mean, they usually play.
Dude. Somebody did it.
Raiders usually play well against Kansas City too, and I don't know what happened, man. You have a Hall of Fame coach. You have a great offensive coordinator. you just got no line. You got no line, and that's it. Max Crosby got
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, I don't know. They got to figure something out. I feel bad for Genty more than anybody.
They're kind of in the same boat as us, where they don't really have the receivers that are well enough, and they don't have a line. So all
Right.
next year, you're just gonna have to draft linemen.
When he's saying us, he's saying the Titans for those that are new. They might not know that you're a Titans fan.
Yeah. Normally I wear the hat, but
yeah, it's all good. All right. Let's get into our week 7 boomer bust. So these are some pretty interesting new guys we have here. We got QB Bo Nix, 39.96 points. He almost hit 40. Justin Herbert, 29.9 points. Jackson Dart, 29.42 points. And Matthew Stafford, 27.38 points.
No.
Bust. Oh, man. Tua, 1.6 points. Geno Smith, 2.78 points. Justin Fields, 4.04 points. And Caleb Williams, 5.68 points. Not a good day for those boys. Whoever started them, oof.
You know, some people started Caleb Williams, too. Oh.
All right. Running back, boom. Christian McCaffrey, 39.1. Anybody watch that game? Wild. That boy's going to get hurt. Stop playing him like that.
Yeah.
Tired of it. Jahmyr Gibbs, 36.8 points. Had himself a day. Jonathan Taylor. He's been here a lot. Jonathan Taylor's really made a comeback. 34.2 points. And Quinshawn Judkins, 26.4 points. I definitely called that last week. I don't like his matchup this week. A little iffy, but he is definitely the back to own in Cleveland for sure. Yeah. Bust. Travion Henderson. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just saying.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. All right. Running back bust. Travion Henderson, 0.5 points. New England needs to give him the ball. He's the most talented back there, and they keep feeding it to Ramondre. It's like, dude, give it to Travion.
Ramondre didn't do bad.
He only got yeah, but he fumbles, bro. It's just like,
I mean, to be fair, they were going against the Titans. So, and
that's fair.
Jeffrey Simmons did get injured. So, yeah, it was over.
Kareem Hunt, 1.8 points. Nick Chubb, 2.1 points. And then you had Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, 4.2 points. I think you were the boy that said, I think I said to start him last week. My bad. That's
I was the one who said to start him the week before. He got 4 points. So we both done it.
Yeah.
We both done it. And
I apologize for that one.
Yeah, I think we both learned our lesson there.
Yeah. All right. Receiver boom. Jamar Chase, 38.1 points. Devontae Smith, 33.3 points. Keenan Allen, 28.9. And A.J. Brown, 28.1. The Eagles finally figuring it out in the air, man.
I took a chance. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I asked my boy, because my boy has him too. And I was like, bro, do we play him? And he's like, I'm going to play him. I was like, all right, I'll play him. No, I could not be happier.
Oh, man.
Oh, you know what, though? Hey. I will say it's nice to see Jamar Chase back up on that list.
Yeah, it is. I think with a decent quarterback, he's been able to get it done. T. Higgins has looked good too.
You know who we haven't seen really?
Justin Jefferson. Well, if JJ McCarthy comes back,
that's just a little shot.
It's a shot at Colby. But if JJ McCarthy comes back, we will not be seeing him up there. Oh, and they're starting Carson Wentz this week for Thursday Night Football. I think Carson Wentz gives them the best chance to win right now. But anyways, going back into our bus, we got Mike Evans, 0 points. We had Jalen Waddle. He only had 2.5 points. Yeah. Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp only had 3.2 points.
And he had an interception.
Dude. and Kendrick Bourne only had 3.4. I know people were starting Kendrick Bourne because of
the matchup.
Because of Mac Jones. All right, let's get into some tight ends here. Tight end boom. We got, that's a hard name to pronounce. Oronde Gadsden. 29.4 points. Los Angeles Chargers tight end. And tied with him was Trey McBride, 29.4 points. Ooh. Oh, this next one's going to hurt my soul. Pat Freiermuth, 28.1 points. The boy that I hated on all last year. And Rodgers is like, hey, boyo, we're going to get you the ball. And he gave him the ball a lot. He was definitely favored over Jonnu that game.
Oh, yeah.
And then last we had Jake Ferguson, 21.9 points, kind of a regular on the boom list. He's Dak's safety net. So if you have Jake Ferguson, there's no reason to not sit him. Tight end bust. Oh, man. George Kittle, dude. 0 points. Ugh.
Typical
For the
George
boy,
Kittle coming back to original
dude.
fashion, dude.
I had Kittle and Evans and almost lost. 0 points.
Oh,
Two big
way.
old goose eggs, man.
Ugh.
Michael Mayer, 2 points. Sam Laporta,
Oh,
4.5. And Dallas Goddard,
I
4.8.
had Michael Mayer too.
Oh, dude.
That
It's a
sucked.
rough one.
That
But
sucked. It was a
those were
rough
our
week.
boomer busts for week 7. Oh, we're going to transition to week 8 injury report. X, go ahead and tell us what some of the injuries are for this week across the league.
So we got the rough one with Mike Evans, the broken collarbone, the concussion. You could tell when he hit. The worst part about it, dude, and he didn't even catch the ball. Then you got
0
Nico
catches on 4
Collins.
targets.
I know. Ugh, that's rough. You got the boy Nico Collins with a concussion. Oh, you hate to see it. Jaden Daniels with the hamstring, the re-aggravation, man. What are we doing? Bryce Young, you got the ankle injury, dude. You know, there's a reason why God gave you two. You know, he's still got another one. No reason why he can't play. Max Crosby, a knee injury. A knee injury. You know, same thing with the ankle, dude. He's got a whole nother one, so he should be all right. Sauce Gardner, concussion. Oh man, these things are going wild. Concussions are everywhere. Keandre Miller. Oh no, the ACL. Done for the year.
He's
Get rid of the
done, bro.
turf. Get rid of the turf. Darren Waller, pectoral. What? How do you even injure that? I still
It's your
don't
peg,
know.
bro.
I'm like, but what do you do? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. That's always been a strange injury to me. Dontavian Wicks. That boy got a calf cramp. Oh man, what a rough one. What a rough one. Cole Kmet, back injury. Ugh, dude. Those backs. You ever get sciatic pain? Oh, I feel that boy.
Dude.
I feel that boy. Then we're gonna move on to the week 8 bye weeks. These are the worst, dude. Nobody likes bye weeks. You got to start scrounging on the waiver wire. Then you got to debate on who you got to drop. Dude, it's a rough week for me. It's a rough week for me. Like this really sucks for me. Week 8 buys. We got Arizona Cardinals. Nobody's really losing anything there. Detroit Lions. Oh man, everybody's losing
Big
everything
players.
right there,
Yeah.
dude. I have them on in 3 leagues. So that one sucks.
Jameer
Jacksonville
Gibbs, David
Jaguars.
Montgomery.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. Jacksonville Jaguars. Nobody's losing anything. Nobody cares. Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, some idiots are losing Genty. That's about it. Rams. Oh man, a lot of people are losing people. Puka was out on injury. You got Puka, you got Devontae. Some people have Higbee. You got Kyron Williams. Oh yeah, you're losing them. Seahawks. You're losing Najigba. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. Okay. And that's that.
All right. We got our week 8 waiver wire here. Pick up. Usually it's done by Colby, but the boy Colby is out. He's on his honeymoon. Again, congrats, Colby. All right. A lot of these names are going to be similar to last week because they are still available, and I really recommend you guys pick them up. Jackson Dart. You got to pick him up at this point. I think he's the start every week until he tells you he's not. He has a really good matchup against the Eagles. The Eagles defense hasn't really been looking too good. Just when it comes to the Giants and the divisional matchup, I really like him. I don't know why. Usually you go the opposite, but this year I'm really liking the Giants. He has a great throwing ability. He has rushing upsides. He does. And honestly, I think the team rallies behind him and Cam Scatabo. So I really like him. Sam Darnold, he and Jason. I know he has a bye week this week, but if he's available and you need him for like a week 9 bye situation, definitely not a bad starter. Jacoby Brissett, his rushing ability really helps him. And he put up like, I think 20 points again last week against Green Bay. So might not be a bad pickup. You got Joe Flacco.
Yes.
You might need to pick him up at this point, especially with all these injuries and people being out. He's looking good. I don't know how long or if he rides it out all season until Joe Burrow gets back, but I definitely recommend grabbing him and making him playing him during favorable matchups. I mean, I don't see why not. He has 2 of the best receivers in the league. Then you got some new names. So for running back, we got Kyle Moynihan or Moynihan. I don't know if I pronounced that right. He's been starting to take some touches. Moynihan. So he started to take some touches away from Swift. I would use him as more of like a stash or like a cuff to DeAndre Swift, but he had 13 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. So that's not kind of someone just to look out for. Then you got Brashard Smith. He plays for Kansas City. He's a rookie there. Granted, this was in garbage time. They were up by a lot of points, but he had 14 carries for 39 yards, 5 catches for 42 yards. So he was definitely the most effective back in that game. So he might get some more opportunities. So that's definitely something to look out for. You got Bam Knight. I talked about him last week. He's the better of the backs right now in Arizona. Even though they're on a bye week, I would still consider picking him up because he might not be a bad flex play for bye week fill-in. Kenneth Gainwell, he's a Jalen Warren cuff. He didn't really do so well, but what we've seen is that when they do play him, he does do very well. So I would definitely pick him up, especially if you needed just a fill-in for bye week. And you got Tajay Spears. We talked about him last week. It's a Tennessee backup. He's back from injury, and he's great in PPR formats. He's a great receiving back. Tony Pollard hasn't really looked great this year, so he's definitely might be somebody who, as the season gets on later, he might be getting more carries and more play time. Next, we're going to go into the receivers. So we have some new guys out here, which is kind of nice. You have Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette had 9 catches for 80 yards, and he's a receiver too in Carolina because you have McMillan there. But with Andy Dalton coming in, with Bryce Young probably being out, I think I really like him this week, and I think his options or his playability this week goes up significantly, and I would probably consider him as a flex if needed, maybe in those deeper leagues. Then you have Jamiri DK, 4 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. He's a slot guy for Tennessee, but they just released Tyler Lockett because Lockett wanted to be let go.
Yep.
So looks like this guy is the bona fide
Number
starter
2.
now. So, yep, definitely look into him. Then you got Marvin Mims. He's been kind of here and there. He's been the receiver 2 for Denver. Obviously, Bo Nix had a crazy game last week, but he had 6 catches for 85 yards. Definitely one of those guys that could be a flex guy for your team. Keishawn Boutte, you talked about him last week.
Boom.
He's becoming one of May's favorite end zone targets. Definitely consider picking him up. And then Wan'Dale Robinson. So he's actually receiver 19 in New York, but he is the receiver 1 for that team behind, I guess, Cam, even though Cam's a running back. So definitely, in those favorable matchups with the Giants, I would definitely consider putting him in your flex. And some of the guys that I didn't include on the list, but I had him on here last week, was Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard. So Tez Johnson, let me go back. So Mike Evans got hurt. He came back, got hurt. Godwin still isn't back. Emeka played, surprisingly. I wasn't sure he was going to play. So the next headline is Sterling Shepard and then Tez Johnson, but Tez Johnson's getting a lot of targets. So I think you could pick up either one of those two guys if you had Mike Evans, if you need a replacement, and obviously if you have space on your roster. All right, next we're going to get into some tight ends. We have Aronde Gadsden, who I talked about earlier. He had 7 catches for 164 yards and a touchdown. So he's not even the tight end 1 on his team. He's a tight end 2. He's definitely worth a pickup because he has definitely been showing consistency of 10 points for the last 3 weeks. 10 points or more, I should say. So he definitely, if you need a tight end, I would consider picking him up. Then you got Pat Freiermuth. He has 5 catches for 111 yards for 2 touchdowns. Obviously, this might be like a one-time thing. We're not really sure. But tight ends are a dime a dozen right now. And if he has a favorable matchup, I don't see why not to pick him up at this point. You got Theo Johnson. He had 3 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. He's the best receiving tight end for New York Giants. Yes, Daniel Bellinger had a better week, but I don't know if we're going to see Daniel Bellinger play in that spot every week. So Theo Johnson is definitely getting the more of the snap share, so I'd consider playing him. And then Noah Fant, 4 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. Gesicki's out for the Bengals, and Noah Fant has stepped in and become the starter. And with Joe Flacco playing lights out in a highly explosive offense, even getting Chase Brown back to speed, he's definitely a good pickup for favorable matchups. So the defense of this week, I like the Bucks, I like the Bills, and I like the Chiefs. The Bucks are playing the Saints. The Buffalo Bills are playing Carolina, and Kansas City is playing Washington. So all these will be posted on our social media. It is posted currently on our TikTok and our Instagram, so go check those out if you want to see more and if you want to see this specifically, or you can just simply pause the video. Next, we're going to get into our starts and sits at each position. So normally we do 1 per position, but with Colby out and Bevel not being here, we're going to do 2 this week. So this is a little year 2 throwback for those who are long-term viewers here. They've been rocking with us. So starting at quarterback this week, you kind of will see a trend here. I got Jackson Dart at Philly. It's a divisional game. Usually you don't start guys that have divisional games because it's iffy, right? Not Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart, with his throwing ability and his rush side ability and the fact that his team is rallying around him, I think it's going to be a really close game. It's going to be a tough game. I don't know if they win, but I do think for fantasy reasons, you definitely got to start him. And I'm starting Bo Nix. Bo Nix is playing against Dallas. Dallas's defense is still bad. So the Cowboys held the Commanders to 22 points last week. So they're going to be like, our defense is fine. No, you guys are not. You guys are trying to trade for Max Crosby. So let's not get crazy here. Yeah. And the fact that Jaden Daniels did get hurt in the 3rd quarter. So there's probably a reason for that, why it was 44-22. Or or the reason why Commanders only scored 22 points. But Bo Nix is coming off of close to a 40-point fantasy game last week, and I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities against Dallas. So I really would consider starting him. Sitting's Tua. He's playing against Atlanta, which you would think would have a good matchup, but he lost the locker room a couple weeks ago, and he was benched in favor of Quinn Ewers. So I don't even know if he's playing this week or what the situation is. I don't like it. Don't start him. And then you're sitting Drake Maye. And I know this is going to be a hot take for Chad, X. A lot of these boys are not going to like this, but Cleveland is a good defense. Their offense sucks. I think when Shador comes in, that'd be different. I don't like their offense. I don't like Dylan Gabriel's stats. I don't like what he's doing there. I don't know. I don't like it. I think Cleveland, I know Cleveland has a great defense. We're going to see this week if Drake Maye is really that guy and how good he's going to be. And I think this is a good matchup for him. I don't want to risk it, so I'm not starting him if I have another option. But if you don't have any other options, good luck. Just know that he might go under projections. X, you guys starting at quarterback this week.
Starting, this will probably be the last time I put him on here because he is starting to become really good this season. Dak Prescott going against Denver. Denver, the main reason of why I put him on there was because Denver does have a really good defense and they're notorious for shutting down a lot of players. But if you have Dak Prescott, I would feel confident playing him. He's been doing good. George Pickens showed that he could be the number one if needed. He's got Lamb back now, so he feels a lot more confident. They have a run game. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't feel confident starting. Then you're also going to start Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is going against the New York Jets. Amazing matchup. Perfect matchup for the boy to start using those weapons. And he himself seems to be in the system that works for him. So works out well. You're sitting the boy Justin Fields. The boy got benched.
Oh, he's benched.
Yeah, it's over for him. It's over for him. So for those of you that have him, this is going to be a very important waiver wire pickup week for you. Next, I got Mac Jones sitting against Houston. Houston is starting to get a little fire under him, and they're starting to show a little bit of effort. As we know, the 49ers are very injured. So I think that this might be the game where Mac Jones kind of struggles a little bit. I don't think he's going to do terrible, but for those of you that are kind of down bad right now, this isn't really the time to be playing like that and, kind of taking a gamble like that.
Yeah, and we don't know if Brock Purdy's coming back either. So I think that's another thing that especially if Brock Purdy's coming back, you're not going to play him. I wouldn't play Brock. He's not.
I wouldn't play Brock either. Yeah. So.
All right. Next, we're going to get into our running backs. So starting at running back this week, you're going to see a trend here. I've got Cam Scatterbo at Philly. He and Dar have figured it out, and there's no reason to not keep rolling with them. It's a divisional matchup, but Cam Scatterbo is wild. And when you see our thumbnail, it's pretty sick. I have him doing a backflip. So super sick. It's super awesome. But yeah, man, Cam Scatterbo, I just think he's a dog. X and I had no idea. We wouldn't have known. Like, we were kind of like not trusting it. They proved us wrong, and it is what it is. But definitely start him every week with confidence, in my opinion. And then you're starting DeAndre Swift against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense has been really bad, and I don't really understand. Maybe a lot of it has to do with Lamar not being there. Yeah, but maybe a lot of it has to do with Lamar too, just not being there, not playing, and not giving him enough rest. Yeah. So I just think he's going to have a really good game, and we don't know if Lamar's coming back this week. So because of that, I think he's a great matchup or a great play. It has a great matchup, and rock with it while you can. You're sitting Javonte Williams, and I know X is going to have a problem with this. Okay,
I am.
Let me tell you why. Okay.
Okay.
So Javonte Williams playing against Denver. The run D is really tough. I don't like the matchup. I think he goes under projection. I think it'll be close, but I think he goes under projection only because the Chargers offense and they're the running backs, even though they're like on their third or fourth guy at this point, they've been doing pretty decent. Like, their running game's pretty good. Jim Harbaugh's really good on the run. Denver shut them down. Kamani Vidal had a bad game. Haskins had a terrible game. And those are their two guys, and they really had to throw it out and air it out. And that's why Justin Herbert did so well. And that's why Keenan Allen led McConkey, Quinshon Johnston. Like, they had a day, right? You had to throw against Denver. So I don't like the run game, and I don't trust the run game. I think Dak is going to be throwing that ball to Jake, to CD, and to George Pickens, because it's going to be a close game. So that's kind of my reasoning for that. And then you're sitting Ramondre Stevenson versus Cleveland. It's kind of the same reasons for sitting Drake Maye. It's not a good matchup. Ramondre tends to fumble the ball. Cleveland has a great defense. It's going to be tough. I think New England wins this game, but I think it's going to be a tough for fantasy reasons why, and especially with mid-season kind of approaching, I would proceed with caution and kind of use somebody else if possible. X, you got starting at running back this week.
So starting at running back, Javonte Williams going against Denver. And I will give you all the counter arguments here. Denver probably feels confident going against the Chargers, but Denver has to understand at the same time, CD Lamb, George Pickens, Lad McConkey, Quincy Johnson. I mean, you're going to have to give the nod to Dallas. Running back wise, you have Javonte Williams, who's having a breakout year right now, where Vidal and Haskins, two second stringers on any other team. No. Denver's going to have to make a choice. They're either going to have to try and stop Javonte Williams, who's having a breakout year, or they're going to have to dedicate to the pass with Dak having a breakout year. Now they got Lamb back, and Pickens has already showed that he could be a number one. So they're, in my opinion, you're going to pick the pass. So I think Javonte Williams has a good day. I think Denver is going to get a little overconfident, and they're going to have to choose. And I think as a coaching staff, you're going to choose passing because you need your defense to get, or you need your offense to get rest. And I just don't see why Javonte wouldn't have a good game. Next, you're going to start Judkins going against New England. Judkins, I'm still a little questionable on, but I do feel confident with him going against New England. New England does have a good pass rush. New England does have a good pass rush, but as of right now, Judkins is really kind of all they have. And even when they're down, they still run with him, which is actually nice for Judkins fantasy owners for him to get that chance. Sitting Krosky Merritt against Kansas City. You're going to sit Krosky Merritt probably for the rest of the season until he proves you otherwise. Krosky Merritt was that one-hit home run for the one time. I am not sold on this dude. I have played him twice and have lost in one and had to squeak out a win in another because I tried to trust this guy. And it's not happening anymore. Not falling for that trap. Kansas City has a good defensive line when, Jones decides to actually, take the play seriously instead of what he did with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but, whatever. Then you're also going to sit Tony Pollard against Indianapolis. Indianapolis is one of the top powerhouses right now. Tony Pollard is also getting his carries cut into by Spears. If you're on a bye week and you have Pollard, still play him just because he averages about 10 points a game. But against Indianapolis, I really wouldn't feel very confident.
Man, that's a hot take on Bill, dude. I think Bill's very explosive, but I think personally with Debo not being there, I think you kind of narrows it down to like they know what they're gonna do with Bill. I think that's why it's been tough. And Jaden Daniels hasn't been there, so and Marcus Mariota is the quarterback. But either way, I digress. All right. Starting at receiver. I hate to say I told you so, but none of the boys like to listen to the boy over here. I've had Rashee Rice on my IR suspended list for 6 weeks. I told everyone he was going to be receiver one. Everyone said that was crazy. Everyone says Patrick Mahomes needs a receiver one. Well, he was a receiver one last week, let me tell you. So you're starting Rashee Rice, dude. He's playing against Washington Commanders. They might not have JD5 this week. Patrick Mahomes is QB1 this year in fantasy football. We have to eat our words, man. We were wrong. We were wrong. Yeah, but we were wrong.
I was still not sold.
Dude, Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl favorites, dude. I'm telling you. Rashee Rice should have a good game against the Commanders. Commanders defense hasn't been too great. JD5 might not play. So I really like Rashee Rice, and he kind of just went right back in the offense like if he hadn't left. So he's a great matchup this week, and I would start him every week, and he might not be on this list no more because I think he might be a little too high for me to put on here. Then you're starting A.J. Brown versus New York Giants. This is another guy where, I hope he continues the momentum from last week. I really don't know because he's so hit or miss. It's not even him. Jalen Hurts is so hit or miss on whether or not they're going to run the ball with Saquon or if they're going to throw the ball. But he's starting to click. Barkley's getting hurt. He's not playing so well. His yards per carry is going down. And if it's a big game like I'm expecting, I think they're going to be airing it out. So I really like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown this week. Sitting, X is going to love this one. You're sitting Justin Jefferson at the Chargers. So, granted, I made this list before we found out that JJ wasn't playing. So I kind of was anticipating that JJ McCarthy, I should say, was going to be the quarterback. But even with him not coming back, I just think it's a bad matchup in general. And I don't think that Justin Jefferson is going to go over projected points. So because of that, obviously for bye weeks, you can't really do anything. But if you have other options, like in those 10-team leagues, there's some 8-team leagues out there, maybe consider looking somewhere else. And they're going to sit Stephon Diggs against Cleveland, and you'll see the trend of my starters, and you'll see the trend of the people I'm sitting. I really don't like Patriots this week. I think they win, but I just think that Stephon Diggs is going to be getting locked down, and I mean he's really their number one guy there, so I don't see any reason for him. Like I said, unless Drake May proves me wrong. Sorry, Chad. I just don't like him this week. So, X, you got starting receiver this week.
Starting at receiver, never thought I would say it. I got Chris Olave going against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay
Ooh.
right now. I know. This one's gonna be a small bit of a gamble, but I like it. I like it. Chris Olave had a good game. I think Tampa Bay will get up quick and early, so they're going to have to rely on the pass, and I think Chris Olave is going to have a lot of opportunities and a lot of chances. Also, you're going to start Michael Pittman against Tennessee. Tennessee has horrible secondary. Tennessee is just an overall horrible team. So, good enough to feel confident playing Michael Pittman. I think this is going to be a good game for, honestly, any Colts wide receiver. So, even, right before your waiver wire pickups or anything like that. Yeah, Downs hopefully will come back. Alec Pierce, still good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason why you shouldn't feel confident starting essentially any Colts player this week. Sitting. You're sitting Waddle. Oh, I hate to say it. I love the boy. I love the boy so much, dude. I wish he would get traded. I wish he would go somewhere with competency at all. Someone that remembers how to count to 3, but we can only dream, can only hope. Going against Atlanta, I really don't think that Atlanta is a super great team either, but just with the situation that's going on in Miami, you don't feel confident starting anybody, essentially. A change probably your only viable.
Yeah.
If it's going to be anybody.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be sitting Cortland Sutton against Dallas. Honestly, Denver's such a weird team. Right now, to me, in my opinion, they play to the skill level of their opponent. Majority of the time, Dallas does that too. So I really don't expect Sutton to do a whole lot, honestly. And as of right now, Bo Nix has kind of been spreading the ball around to where, you can't feel reliable with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Cortland Sutton, I feel like he might be a decent flex in my opinion, but I think I'm just more of the mindset that I think they're gonna be airing it out all game, the two of them.
I would say if anything, like you're kind of only playing Sutton if your whole team's like on a bye and he's kind of just the best out of it. Then sure.
Yeah, I was thinking like a flex because of all the bye weeks, but I mean that's what Sunday's for, right? To tell us whether we're right or wrong.
Much.
So, all right, next we're gonna get into the tight ends. So starting at tight end, I got Jake Ferguson. I don't think he has the greatest matchup against the Broncos, but he has been Dak's safety net. And because of that, I really think he's very viable. And I think in any game you can play him, no matter how good or bad the matchup is, I just think he's very viable. And Dak's proven that he's going to throw to him. And that's it. Targets matter. Next, you're starting Kyle Pitts. Now, hold on. Let me let me explain. I know X is like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, look, I actually agree with you.
Oh, wow. So it's not. Do I like the Atlanta Falcons offense? No. Do I like Bijan? Yes. Do I like Kyle Pitts long term? No. But Miami is so bad that, and Kyle Pitts got a lot of targets against the 49ers that I really like this matchup for him. And I think if there's any game that he's going to boom, it's going to be this game.
I agree.
And so I really like that. I think you start him, and he's definitely not a bad fill in for somebody who's on a bye week.
Short-term
So
option.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely short term. And sitting, this one's gonna hurt my heart, man. Yeah, this one's a little personal for me. I'm sitting Kittle against Houston. So intuition says to start him because usually he doesn't have 2 back-to-back games that are usually bad, but he's coming back off the injury. He looked really great as a blocker. He looked great. He did very good. Him and Trent Williams look great. But until he shows and proves to me that he's going to be a consistent fantasy football starter, I don't know if I can trust him. I think you stick with that guy that you had playing, like a Hunter Henry or somebody, over Kittle for this week until maybe after not their bye week, but maybe after Kittle starts getting more back into action, kind of get into the groove of things, then you can feel more confident with starting him again. But Houston has a pretty decent defense, surprisingly, so I just don't trust it this week. And then you're going to sit Zach Ertz, and I know people are like, well, Zach Ertz just had a good game, and blah blah blah. It's like Zach Ertz is playing against Kansas City. It's not a good matchup, and he might not have Jaden Daniels, and I don't know if I can trust Marcus Mariota to get in the ball. When Jaden Daniels was not there, Zach Ertz had some of his worst games in fantasy football this year.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, kind of monitor that situation, and kind of make your decision based on if Jaden Daniels plays or not. All right, X, who you got starting at tight end this week?
Starting at tight end, you got the boy Goddard going against the New York Giants. Goddard has been having pretty good games. Jalen Hurts seems to not want to pass to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, but he sure loves to pass to Goddard. So Goddard's good in that
Not last week.
PPR format. I get it, but I mean Goddard to me is a safe pick essentially against the matchup as well. Then you're gonna also start Warren going against Tennessee. I know Warren's kind of a bit of a obvious pick, but
The best tight end right now.
Hey, but I'm pointing out the obvious. Tennessee is a horrible team. The only 2 teams, in my opinion, that can match up to their horribleness are Miami and the Jets. So, I mean, essentially, anybody going against Tennessee, Miami, or the Jets, like, you're going to be playing them. So, based off a matchup, he's going to be amazing to start. Sitting, this one sucks for me because I like the boy. You're going to sit Kraft going against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh defense is still tough. They seem to just make it work with no matter who they got in there. I think they're going to have the middle of that field just covered like a son of a gun. And so I don't see, and Green Bay's offense still to me is not firing on all cylinders with their wide receiver injuries and whatnot. I mean, Josh Jacobs had a couple good games back to back. So we'll see if they want to keep with that run game, which will at the same time throw off Kraft from getting a lot of opportunities. Then you're going to sit Taylor going against Cincinnati. He was supposed to have a pretty good game. I see a lot of people play him. It's just, he's too inconsistent. The Jets are just a mess. It's not, no, we're too far in it to be taking gambles like that anymore.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you there. All right. So people are like, where did the graphic go? Well, we don't have a defensive graphic. We're not going to do a power ranking. That's wild. It's a lot. So starting at defense, we've kind of been telling you guys probably could have put 2 and 2 together. You're starting the Colts versus the Titans. I don't really need to explain why. Colts are the best team in football right now. And then you're starting New England versus Cleveland. And people are like, well, you're just shitting on New England the whole time. Yes, but Cleveland's offense is bad. Okay. Dylan Gabriel hasn't put up any kind of crazy numbers. So I just don't really trust that Cleveland's offense is going to get going. And New England's defense has been great this year. I see no reason to not start them. You're sitting Pittsburgh D versus Green Bay. So I know this is kind of a weird one. The only reason why is because of the run game. And I just don't know. Josh Jacobs scores. That's the thing, is they score. Matthew Golden is starting to get it going. I know X doesn't really like them this week. It's a Rodgers revenge game. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a low scoring game, in my opinion. And it's in Pittsburgh. So, and then you're going to sit the Jets. I don't know why you would be starting the Jets, but there are people who start the Jets. They're playing against Cincinnati, and because Flacco is going to throw the ball and do well, do not start the Jets. And honestly, I think this year, you probably don't even want to start the Jets the rest of the year until they can figure out what the hell is going on over there. X, who's starting at defense this week?
So starting at defense, I actually have Green Bay against Pittsburgh. I feel confident. Yeah, I feel
Oh man.
confident. I feel confident about it because as you've seen this season, especially this season, is Aaron Rodgers does not do well with pressure, and I think that Green Bay's line is good enough to get that pressure. So honestly, I feel kind of confident with Green Bay to be able to do that. I know I previously said that Green Bay's offense isn't really firing on all cylinders, but another good thing is that Josh Jacobs is coming back into his own, which means you know how it goes. If a team has a good running back, always good for their defense because that running back will chew out that clock and not give that essentially that defense to have the chance of being scored on. Because whenever you're starting defenses, you're just trying to hold on to those 10 points for dear life. So
Hmm.
uh I feel okay with putting Green Bay against Pittsburgh. You're also gonna start Washington against Kansas City. I know that's a bit wild, but uh Kansas City, right now their run game is still atrocious. I know Pacheco, kind of did a little bit of something, but that was just a one game little fluke. Just happened to be what it was. I think Washington's defense is pretty underrated for how their offense is kind of just looking right now. But I think they figure it out this game, and uh, I feel confident because majority of the time, Kansas City isn't really blowing teams out of the water. If they're going to score, it's only going to be like 14 to 20 points. So I feel confident starting them. Sitting, you're going to sit Denver against Dallas. Dallas has a high powered offense. Denver is a very good defense, but Dallas will find a way, in my opinion. Uh, you have essentially two number ones there. You got a good running game. You got a bunch of breakout stars right now that are having good seasons. It's just a little bit questionable for me. Sitting, you're also going to sit the Chargers against Minnesota. Wentz is better than McCarthy, which means Justin Jefferson has a little bit better upside. Addison is starting to kind of come back in it a little bit. Possibility of Aaron Jones coming back. So they might get a little bit of an upgrade there at running back. Regardless of that, Mason is still a good running back. Normally gets close to those 100-yard games. So the Chargers right now just kind of look a little bit like a mess. They're not playing to the level that they should be, so I wouldn't feel confident to start them.
Just one thing I wanted to point out is that the Commanders gave up 44 points to Dallas last week, and that the Kansas City Chiefs defense blanked the Raiders. So that'd be
Raiders
my only
are
counter argument. Oh, I
Raiders
agree.
are
They're
also
trash.
garbage.
I think I think it'd be more if JD5's playing, and I don't know how long he's out
That's
for.
fair.
So for me, that'd be like
That's fair.
the big if on that. All right, next we're getting to our trade targets. So I just kind of through mine really quickly, and X kind of has all the tips and tricks for you and who you should be trading for. So for me, you're going to buy low on Godwin, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Roman Dezoni, Genti, and Amika. These guys are either hurt or not playing well, and I think they can have some upside later on in the season. You're going to sell high on Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Kyle Pitts, and some of the guys you're not going to trade for is Woody Marks. Woody Marks he got a touchdown last night, but he hasn't been doing good. The Arizona running backs are not doing well. Obviously, Justin Fields has now been benched, and Tua has been benched, so I think you need to stay away from them. All right, X, you have the floor. Go ahead and give us your trades for the week and your
You're
tips.
trading away Crosby Merritt. Trade him away while you can. You're going to trade away Waddle. Miami's just too much of a mess. You're going to trade away Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is getting all of his carries stolen right now. It's horrible to have Walker at this moment. You're going to trade for Pittman, Michael Pittman from the Colts. Pittman has a pretty good schedule going on. So trade for him while you can before he starts to break out towards the end of the season. And Colts are playing really high powered. So try and get him at his lowest value. For your tips, you are going to try to make fair trades. This is also good for just the league in itself, the integrity of it, and a little bit of a moral thing there. But if you don't want to look at it from a if you're not really a glass half full type guy and you're kind of a glass half empty type guy, then play for the psychological game. You're playing for the long haul, right? Because you know this league's going to stay for a while. So what do, man? You start making these fair trades to people, and they start building up trust a little bit. And they start talking with each other, right? They're like, you know what? He always makes fair trades. He's not trying to rip you off, this and that. But then when it really matters, you can make that strike, dude. You just rip a dude off left and right. Depends on how you want to play it, right? You want to be that knight in shining armor that makes the fair trades. Go ahead, but you want to be that evil sorcerer in the Tower of Doom. Do it, do it. Play the psychological game. Uh, Next tip: rip yourself off if you can afford it. Take minimal damage though. Try and mitigate that damage as much as possible. So if you're riding high right now, 5-1, you know, 6-1 or whatever you are, 5-2, whatever. If you're riding high right now, kind of like I mentioned too last week, don't be afraid to take the gamble, but rip yourself off to get a player that's going to make your team that much better. I did it to get Amon-Ra in 2 of my leagues. I ripped myself off knowing that was going to pay out, and it is paying out. And I get trade requests almost every single week for Amon-Ra. No, not doing it. I got him for a reason. I got him for the long haul. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I was winning enough where I felt confident to rip myself off for it. And I felt like I had the depth to cover it. I felt like I took the the mitigating and minimal damage as possible to rip myself off for it. Normally, I like to do 2-for-1s, and that's what I did for that one. So do it if you can afford it. Sometimes, and I think it's a good habit, is to make a trade to start some dialogue. Start some dialogue with some people because you might value this guy super high, but the other guy might not value him as high as you think. So, if you make that trade, say you're, I don't know, trying to trade like Tony Pollard for Derrick Henry or something, that guy might look at Derrick Henry and go, well, this dude's only got me 5 to 4 points every single week. Tony Pollard's getting 10. He might be looking at strictly points and he's like, well, you know what? Forget it, dude. I kind of need this to happen. So he makes that trade or he counters back. I love wheeling and dealing. So to me, I love counters. Let's play this game, right? Because when I trade, I always start at the minimal, right? Just like you're buying a car, right? What do? You always start at the bottom, but you know your price at the end of the day. You're not going to go above that price. Same thing with trades. You offer him the least amount, let him counter. Some people are dumb and they just look at the message and don't even counter back, which I hate you people. But regardless, start that dialogue and see what you can get out of it. There's no harm, no foul. Worst case scenario, they don't take your trade and you're right back where you were and you just call it a day. And then hey,
I want to make
doesn't
a
really do
counter.
that.
I want to make
I
a
like
counterpoint
counters.
if that's okay.
Let's go.
Okay. So I would say the biggest thing on so you said make a trade to start dialogue. I would say
Mhm.
know your audience, and I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest one. Is because, for example, Colby and I are in a league that's kind of like my family and friends league, and some of the girls don't personally like that approach. They would prefer that you message them about it rather than just send a trade and it look really bad. Because for them, who they don't usually like to trade, they don't like that. So for them, they're like, well, this guy's just going to offer me a bad trade, and I'm good. Um, and even though you might give them a trade that you feel like you're actually going to be losing on, they still might not take it. But I would say just really consider your audience and who you're playing with. And if your friend group or whoever kind of league, like the people in your league, if they're more receptive to willing and dealing and trading, and you guys have a group chat and you guys are talking shit, all for it. Make that trade, start that discussion. I think that's a great thing. But if you're in a league where there's some players who are more reserved and maybe don't like that, maybe send them a message and be like, hey, I'm thinking about trading you for this player. What do you think? And then maybe that's how you start a conversation. And maybe that'll kind of get you more to a middle ground of where Like if that you want that trade to actually go through, maybe that'll be a different way and a different approach of starting
Right.
that conversation.
Right.
So just kind of consider those things.
Right. I'm going to
So
counter
that's
twice.
it.
I'm going to counter twice on those. One, to your fact of, our friends and family league, and, do hope that they watch it. There are times where you will start that dialogue and they will just look at your message and not say anything. You can
Yeah, that's true.
simply just say no. My feelings won't be hurt. Nobody's feelings will be hurt. Just say no. It's not that big of a deal. So that's my only counter argument to that. My other counter argument is that the reason why I put it this way is because in last week's episode, we talked about knowing your opponents. You should know your audience. You're pretty much reiterating exactly, what we said last episode, which is great, which means people are paying attention, right? So that's a good thing. Know your audience or know your opponent to start the dialogue, to make that dialogue. Because you never know. They might be willing to trade that guy and you didn't even know it because in your eyes, you would have never traded for him. I thought the people that had him on Raw would never trade for him, but I always try and start that dialogue just to see. Because some people, you could send them a message, hey, are you willing to trade him on? And they won't answer. But then I put a trade out there to them without even asking, and then all of a sudden they counter back. Now they want to talk. All right, well, if players talk, bro, then let's talk. So know your opponents to start that dialogue. Last one, humor the trades. And I mean this wholeheartedly. Humor the trade. If someone sends you a trade and you're like, dude, what is going on? Then counter back with something and see what it starts. And it kind of piggybacks off of the start the dialogue. Counter back, see what you can get out of it. Now, there is a difference because we've had it happen in the league where people will do stupid and disrespectful trades. Don't do a disrespectful trade where you're trying to trade Tampa Bay's defense for Lamar Jackson. That is not how you start dialogue. You want to know what that gets you?
This is trolling.
That gets you a giant middle finger to your face. And then I'm going to trade you Lamar Jackson for your entire team. Yeah, you see how stupid that looks? That's exactly what you just did to me. So don't do that. But humor the trades. If someone sends you a trade, counter back. You never know the type of dialogue that you can get out of it. And you might end up making a deal out of it. I love countering back. There's a league where I countered with a guy for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Like twice a week. We were countering back with each other. Oh man, it was great. And eventually we ended up coming out to a deal. Worked out for both of us. So humor the trades. See what you can get. Don't be afraid to trade. And you're not going to be afraid to trade. Why? Because you're listening to these tips. Listening to these tips, brother. So go out there and make some good trades. Save your season. Make your season better. Go out there, do big things.
All right. Next, we got our week 8 football bets. Remember, this is money line, over, under, and spread. First game, we got Minnesota Vikings versus the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by -2.5. I need to look this up here. So the Chargers are favored by -2.5. The total is 44.5. Ooh, I'm going to go under just because Minnesota has a good defense. Chargers have a good defense. And I think it's a low scoring game. But I like the Chargers at -2.5. X.
I agree.
All right. Next game, Jets versus Bengals. Bengals are favored by -6.5. I think you take Bengals easy at -6.5. The total's 44.5. I'm going to go under only because Tyrod's the quarterback, and I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if Garrett Wilson's playing. I really don't know the whole situation. So I'm going to take the under on that.
I agree.
All right. Next game, Buffalo versus Carolina. Buffalo Bills are favored by -7.5. I like that, even though I think Carolina has an upside with Andy Dalton playing. But the total is 46.5. Honestly, I'll go over only because Buffalo's been giving up a lot of points as of late. And I think Andy Dalton gives more boom potential for those receivers there.
Oh, that's fair. I agree.
What do you think?
I agree.
Okay.
I'll go with it.
Next game, New York versus Eagles. Ooh, Ooh,
Don't
Eagles are
pick them.
favored by -6.5. I'm taking the plus at 6.5 on this,
Yeah,
only because I
we'll
think it's
do
like
that.
3 or 4 points. It's going to be a close game. It's going to remind me kind of like the Broncos game. The total's 43.5. I think it goes over.
I
I
agree.
think it goes over on that. I don't think the Giants win. I think the Eagles squeak by, but I think it's by 3 or 4. So I
There
think
you
the
go.
plus money is where I'm at on that.
Perfect. Perfect. I agree.
Okay. Next game, we got Miami versus Atlanta. Here, let me move this down. Miami versus Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 7.5 points. That's kind of a lot, man.
Ooh, that's a
I don't
lot,
know.
dude. Yeah.
But I mean,
I
even
know
so,
Miami's a mess, but I don't
but
know.
Michael Penix got hurt, but I think he's playing. I just think Atlanta has a lot more options. Like they beat the Bills this year. Let's not
I
forget.
think
Like
I,
they
I
have
think
moments where they could
Bijan's
do
gonna
well.
have a game though,
Always have a
because
monster game.
Miami doesn't really have a front that's gonna be able to really stop him.
Honestly,
I
I think I'm
like
going to go seven and
Miami's
a
middle
half.
linebackers, but not that front.
Yeah, but I think I'm taking Atlanta at -7.5. But I think the total will be at the under, only because I think Drake London's been doing very well with form. And I think Bijan has a game, and I think Kyle Pitts has a game. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why, and it's because it's Miami. So, what do you think?
What's the over and under?
It's 45.5. I went under on that because I
Mm,
don't think Miami scores a lot. Atlanta's defense is
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Yep. I agree with you.
All right, next game we got Cleveland Browns versus New England Patriots. Ooh. Patriots are
Mm.
favored by 7.5. I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so. I'm taking plus money. Not saying the Browns are going to win. I'm just taking plus
Yes.
money. I think it's to be a lot closer than
I
we
agree.
think. 3-4 points. And the total's 40.5. I think we're going to go under. I think we're going to go under on that one. I don't think it's going to be a big booming game. That's only like 20 points per team. Cleveland ain't putting up 20 points. I promise.
Yeah.
There ain't no way. So,
Yeah. I agree.
you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, next game, Chicago versus Baltimore. Baltimore is favored by -6.5. So let me preface this with this. If Lamar Jackson plays, I like them at -6.5. If Lamar Jackson does not play and it's Tyler Huntley, who I think is still good, I think I'm taking Chicago at +6.5. The total's 50.5. I think I'll take the over. Tyler Huntley looked good. He looked like Lamar Jackson Jr. out there. So either way, I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
Mm.
Baltimore's defense is not good. So I think I'm going to take over on that. And I know that's high, but
Yeah. I'm I agree with you, but I'm gonna take the under.
okay. Next game, we got San Francisco versus the Houston Texans in Houston, and the Houston Texans are favored by 1.5. Yeah, I'm taking +1.5, dude. Houston did not look good against Seattle last night, and they started getting it figured out towards the end there, but San Francisco figures it out, dude. Kyle Shanahan figures it out. I don't know how. I think if Mac Jones is playing, they're gonna have it'll be more like I'd feel more strongly about the +1.5. If Brock Purdy's playing, I would just stay away from the game in general. The total's 42.5. I'm going to take the under on that, even though it's a pretty low total, just because I can't trust either offense to do anything, if that makes sense.
I'm actually gonna go Houston. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
over, and I'd be okay with the 1-5.
Okay. Next game, we got Tampa versus New Orleans. Bucks are favored by 5.5. I think that's an easy 5.5 no matter what. Baker
Yeah.
had a bad game last week. They played against the Lions, who I think are 1A and 1B for the two best teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
The total's 48.5. I'm taking the under on that. I think it's tough. It's a divisional game. The Saints are not very good, but
Yeah.
Baker's without Mike Evans and Godwin, so I just
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to be that high of a scoring game. You agree?
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Next game here. Next game we got Dallas versus Denver. Denver's favored by 3.5 points. Oh, but they're playing in
Ooh.
Denver. Ooh.
Nah, that ain't gonna matter.
Total's 49.5. I'm taking the over on that. I'm taking the over on
What?
the total.
No
Oh yeah.
way.
Oh yeah. Dude, they're gonna score a lot of points, bro.
No.
Dak is gonna score on every team, bro. It doesn't matter who your defense is. That he's gonna score. And I think Denver's gonna score. They're playing at home. But I think I like Denver at -3.5. I think Denver gets the job
No
done.
way. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I don't
go.
think Dallas wins.
I'm gonna go Dallas, and I'm gonna go under.
Okay. Next game, we got Tennessee versus Colts. Colts are favored by -14.5. That's high, bro. 14.5
Holy
points.
shit.
That's high. That's more than 2
Oh
touchdowns. I'm
man.
saying take the plus money. It's not anything against Daniel Jones or the Colts, but it's a divisional matchup. I
Yeah.
don't trust that. That's a trap game waiting to happen. The total's 47.5. I'm
Ooh.
going under on that too. That's high for that game.
Oh. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna actually take the Colts, and I'm gonna take that 14.
Oh wow.
The Titans are just that bad, dude. They're
Well,
just
I'm
that
taking the Colts. I'm
I
just not taking the 14.5. I think
no,
that's
no,
too high.
I'm gonna take the 14.5 because honestly, dude, that
Wow.
Tennessee's so bad. I get it's a division game, but dude, the Colts are number one. The Titans are like number 30, probably. So they're and I don't even know if Jeffrey Simmons is playing, which he's the only person on their defense that does anything. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually go over just because I think that Colts just run that score up.
Wow. That's wild. All right. Sunday Night Football. We got Green Bay favored by 3.5 against the Steelers. It's an Aaron Rodgers revenge game. The total is can't even talk. Jesus. The total's 44.5 points. Taking the under on that. Two good defenses. Don't trust the game to go be very high scoring. Packers at 3.5, man. In Pittsburgh. Ooh, I don't know, man.
I don't know if
I
I
would stay
trust
away from
them.
this game. I think
Yeah.
I'll take it to 3.5 on the Packers, but I can see it going the other way only because it's Aaron Rodgers. And I think just sometimes players get up for certain games, and I think this is a game that he's going to get up for, man.
Ugh.
But
Mm.
personally, I'm staying away from this game.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna take the Steelers. Ah, man, no, I don't know if I can.
I just think Green Bay's a
Nah,
better team, dude.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, all right, I agree with I agree with it.
Packers, okay. And then the last game, we got Monday Night Football. We got the Commanders versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by -9.5. I will
Ooh,
preface
that's
this with if
way
Jaden
too
Daniels was
much.
playing, I think if Jaden Daniels was playing, it'd be a lot closer. I think it's Marcus
Yeah,
Mariota. I do like the Chiefs at -9.5, and the total's 48.5. If it's Jaden Daniels, I
under.
could maybe see an argument for over, but I have a feeling it's
Yeah,
Marcus Mariota, so I'm gonna take the under.
yeah. I'm gonna
You
go
agree with that?
Washington. So actually,
To win,
oh yeah,
even with Marcus Mariota?
yep. I trust the boy.
That's wild. You just have a strong hatred for the Chiefs hit around here.
Yeah.
All right, hot takes or our hot take section. First up, we got: are the Cowboys starting to figure it out defensively, or was it just because JD5 got hurt? What are your thoughts about that?
I don't think they're figuring out defensively. They're still too injured. They don't have that pressure. No, no.
Yeah, they so when I was watching the game, they were up and JD5 did get hurt in the third quarter, but it's just I think it's just one of those things where I personally don't think the Commanders defense is that good. I know you think they are or they're underrated, but I just think Dak and that offense is really overpowered. It's probably like the top
Yeah.
offense in the league right now. So I think that's kind of why the score was what the score was. But I think they still think they need help because they're trying to get Max Crosby. So I think that's kind of where they think their defense is at, if that makes sense. So I
I
don't think
did
they
see
think
a
they're very good.
report. I saw a report today that the Raiders talked to Max Crosby and let him know we're not trading you. So
I don't know why they would, but
yeah, there's no
that's just
way.
what they've been saying is that that's
The
out
whole
there.
league, yeah, the whole league should have learned from the Micah Parsons trade. You don't
Yeah,
trade your defensive player.
right. I agree. Next, we got: should we panic on Baker Mayfield's abysmal performance against the Lions, or do you think it's
I
more of a
think
reaction?
I I think it would be a knee jerk reaction to panic about it. Every player has a bad game. Uh, to that one, in all honesty, it kind of looks like out coaching, not so much an outplaying, if I
Mhm.
had to say.
I watched the game, and to me, and my wife actually pointed out, she's like, "Why does he look like he's panicking?" I go, "Well, they're down a lot." I go, and he's having to throw, and he's making stupid
In
throws.
pressure, in a lot of
Yeah, and
pressure.
well, and I think that kind of I'm not panicking on him, but I think as
No,
far as him being the MVP, I don't think that's it. I don't think
no,
he showed the qualities of that. And he's a great player, and it's nothing against him, especially in fantasy. I just think we saw what Tampa Bay can do against a good team. The Lions are a good team, probably 1B, 1A being the Eagles, just because they're defending champions.
right.
Um, I don't think they do well. I mean, they beat the Niners, but I don't think the Niners are overly a great team right now. So I think that's something we need to monitor and see how they do against some of these big teams. And that's actually a good transition into my next one, which is, are the Colts really the best team in the NFL at 6-1? Are they a contender or a pretender?
I want to say they're a contender, but I would really not be too surprised if they are one and done in the playoffs. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised.
So for those who are asking, like, well, why would you even say that? I'm like, well, they beat Miami, they beat Denver by 1, they beat Tennessee, they lost to the Rams, they beat Vegas, they beat Arizona, and they beat the Chargers.
I mean,
So
the only two good teams I really heard out of that were the Chargers and the Rams, which they won
and the
one and lost
Broncos.
one. Broncos are a good team, but they're like squeakers into playoffs almost every single time. So
Mm,
I don't take them 100% too seriously. Are they a good team?
mm,
They have an amazing defense, and if they had like Dallas's offense, they would be a force.
right.
But they just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would agree with you. I do think they're pretenders. I think I'd have to see them play a bigger team. Like they're playing Pittsburgh. I think that'll be a good matchup. They're going to play Kansas City. That's going to be the best
Yeah,
matchup for
that
them to see
that'll be
how
a
good they
really good
really
one.
are.
Yeah,
Um, they're going to play the San Francisco. I think they could probably, depending on that's week 16. So I don't know who's going to be there. Um, but they have pretty good matchups. Houston, Jacksonville, Seattle's going to be a good game. So I kind of would like to see what they have to do, but they're not playing the Ravens, they're not playing the Bills. So those are the big teams too, where I'm like, oh, I wonder how they would stack up. I don't think they play the Patriots either this year, which is interesting. So I think if we were to see that, we would kind of see where that team's at.
yeah,
So for me, it's pretenders. I think if they play the Chiefs will beat them. So, but hey, that's why we have to wait until the game and see what happens, right?
yeah.
Um, Next, I kind of just wanted to talk about Justin Fields and Tua being benched. I think we saw the Tua one kind of coming already.
Yeah,
Justin Fields, I mean, I'm not overly surprised,
no.
but what do those teams need to do to fix it? I mean, last week I think we kind of talked about the locker room situation and with the Miami Dolphins, like, does
Mhm.
McDaniel get fired? Does the GM get fired? Does Tua get cut? They owe him a lot of money. What's the situation there? But with Justin Fields, I mean, are they just going to bench him and start Tyrod Taylor and that's it? Like, is he done for the year, or is it more of a like what's the situation there in your opinion?
It, in my opinion, it could be a little psychological game. I think they still kind of believe in Justin Fields. I think, I think that it's kind of that, whole thing of, it's like the beginning of the season when they said that there's a quarterback competition, and it's like, bro, there's not a quarterback competition. Like, we already
Right.
know who's starting. But it's kind of that mind game that they play to try and like motivate players to get them a little better. And benching
Mm.
somebody is a good way to do that because, at the same time, not only are you benched and the whole world knows it, you're also benched and you're losing out on a lot of incentives. So, when you start messing with money, people get really aggressive when you start talking about their money. Um, Same with Tua. I think, in my opinion, I think they should trade away Tua. Uh, they need to fire McDaniels. That whole locker room is in absolute shambles. You need to figure that out real quick. You need to get some leader in there who knows what it's like to win. Like, you need to get an Aaron Rodgers who gives zero fucks and will just yell at somebody and slap him in the face if he's got to. Like, you need somebody in there who's going to whip them into shape.
I don't even think Aaron wants to go there, to be honest. That was
No,
definitely not
hell
even one
no.
of his destinations. Yeah.
Hell no.
So, yeah, in my opinion, I think so. The owner actually came out with something for the Jets, and he was like, well,
Yeah,
maybe
I
if we
saw
made it
that.
past, then I was like, okay, well, I think personally, I think Justin Fields is probably done for the year unless Tyrod gets hurt. I don't see there's like they're 0-7. There's no reason for them to play him anymore. Like he hasn't won him a game. Tua, I mean, yeah, I think he should be cut. I don't think he will. Do I agree with the trade? Yes, but are you really going to find a team who's going to want to pay him 55 million,
Ugh,
$50 million a year? Probably not.
that's what I
I
don't
think
know.
they're going to just be eating that salary until he's done. To fix those teams, the Jets, I mean, they just got to hope Tyrod or they just get a good pick and pick up somebody like an Arch Manning or whoever the top prospect is in college,
Right.
or beef up that line, offensive line, something. And then with Miami, you got to fire McDaniels. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. He needs to go somewhere with who needs an offensive coordinator. and bring in a coach. And I think he needs to bring in a vet. I don't know who. I have no idea who. I don't know who's available.
Wow.
But they need to bring in somebody else. And I think they need to get a new GM, and they need to go from the top down and start making some changes. But I think I want to reflect real quick back on Tyreek Hill, on his whole disgruntlement and his situation. And they stripped him from being a leader. And I think that was almost like the tell sign that something was going on there and we didn't know about it. And everyone was just like, well, Tyreek's a diva. Well, maybe he is a diva, but there was more to it, right? The fact that players are not showing up to player only meetings and no one respects Tua, who should be the leader of your team. Hey, I think there's a lot of stuff going on there, and
They
y'all need to
are
figure it out.
they are the last year's Jets for sure. Just an
Oh yeah.
absolute mess.
This is a fun one. What the hell's happening with the Raiders? I just love talking about them. It's so funny.
Dude, like I don't even know. Uh I think this is just honestly, I don't even have an answer. Like it's kind of weird. There's no reason of why they should really be this bad. Like honestly, this is kind of what I imagine that the Chiefs would look like if the Chiefs didn't have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. This is kind of what I would see them looking like. Because if you look at the Raiders have no true number one. Their number one is their tight end.
Who's hurt?
Yeah, who's hurt? They sort of figured out a running back, but he has no line. I mean, those are all the things that the Chiefs have, but the Chiefs have the best quarterback in the NFL and one of the best offensive minds in the NFL as their head coach.
Easy. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, this is the Raiders are straight up like the Wish Timu version of the Chiefs, honestly.
I mean, I think the Raiders need to. I don't think it's their coach. I think Pete Carroll's fine. I think Chip Kelly's a great offensive coordinator. I think that's
Yeah.
fine. I think the real problem is their offensive line. They have no line. Their defense is not very good. And unfortunately, they drafted a running back before they drafted their line. This is a result of it. It's not Genty's
Yeah.
fault because I think Genty's talented, but they really need to figure out what to do, whether it's free agency or what, right? They don't have a lot of money on the books. I think you need to go out there and try to spend top dollar and get some of these guys to be competitive because that division can definitely be competitive for them. I always ask this every week, and I kind of want to see if your thoughts have been updated or changed on the subject. Who gets the number one pick this year? Like, who's the favorite in your opinion? The Jets.
Yes.
I think because they benched Justin, I still think I like the Titans, and a lot of it is just
You
to
are
keep picking
so
on you.
biased on that. You're so biased. I would say Titans get top 5. I would say they get top 5.
I think they get top 3.
I would say, yeah, that's reasonable.
I can see them at 2.
I could
I think I can see them at 2, if
I could
anything.
see them at 3 if anything. I think Miami's worse than the Titans.
Oh. So we kind of talked about this earlier, and I kind of just wanted to get your thoughts very quickly on this. Drake May is going against the Cleveland D, and I think this is going to be a true test about how good he really is and if he's going to be the guy there. What are your thoughts about Drake May going in against Cleveland?
I think that this will be a good test to see how he reacts to pressure. I don't think that Cleveland's secondary is very good, but they get so much pressure on you that I mean, we're just going to see how he reacts under pressure, how he reacts to that pocket collapsing really, really quick. Um, I think that Mike Vrabel had a lot of opportunities in Tennessee to, try and work through that and understand how that works, especially him being a defensive minded coach and him being a defensive player himself that was very used to getting, pressure on people. Um, I think that it'll just be a good test there. And it'll be a good
Yeah, and
test
I
on the
kind of
receivers as well to see if they can get open and get that separation in a quick amount of time for May to get the ball out.
right. Yeah, I'm really excited to see that game too. As someone who has Drake May in fantasy, I think this is really going to prove, and for honestly New England Patriot fans in general, like they haven't had
Yeah.
a really good quarterback since Brady, so It's kind of like, hey, what's going to happen here? So that's going to be a good game. And speaking of good games, you get the Packers versus Steelers, Rodgers revenge game. That's going to be a good game, man. I don't know. I considered making that the thumbnail. I ended up making it the Giants and Eagles for this week, just because it was a divisional game. And I don't know why. I know this isn't a divisional game, but I'm kind of getting like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers vibes when Brett Favre was on the Vikings and he went and beat Green Bay in the playoffs. I just think it's going to be a good game. I think if Rodgers is going to beat the Packers, this is going to be the team to do it with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But all right, X, what do you got for the hot takes this week?
So for the hot takes, my question is, what is going on? What do you think is going on with coaches in the NFL? Like, why are teams that are supposed to be good looking bad and bad teams are looking good? Like, what do you think is going on with coaches right now?
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
in my opinion, I think NFL coaches are looking, they're almost in a sense like too smart for their own good, in my opinion. They're too smart for their own good. They're starting to overthink things a little bit too much when they don't need to. 2 + 2 = 4. It's as simple as that. But the problem is they're looking at it, 2 + 2 = 4. And then they sit there and they go, that was a little too easy. Something here's wrong. They're trying to reinvent the wheel when you don't need to. Go back to the basics. If you watch games now, offenses don't look methodical anymore. They don't look like a well-oiled machine. It almost looks like it's lagging all the time, like it's jerking and stalling, and the offense don't look crisp anymore. So I'm starting to think that offensive coordinators, coaches in the NFL, they're starting to overthink a little too much. You know, it's kind of like when you stare at your fantasy roster for too long, and then you start making weird decisions. You start justifying things in your head of why this should be the way it is. When at the end of the day, if you looked at it literally for a minute and you picked your lineup, that's probably the best line. Like, probably the best line. And I think that's where coaches are at. I think they're going a little too crazy. Going a little too crazy.
I think a good example of that is actually if you look in Philly, you look Philly and the Eagles, they're not really feeding Saquon a lot. I think if you were to feed Saquon, or Baltimore with Derrick Henry, if you feed Derrick Henry, I think what was the stat? Like if you feed him 20 touches, like they were like a super high win percentage.
Yeah.
If you feed Derrick Henry so many touches, I think it's like over 20 carries a game. Saquon, the same thing. Look what he did last year. If you give him the ball, he's going to be a playmaker. Christian McCaffrey had over 26 touches last week against the Falcons. I mean, these are the guys, the playmakers, you got to get them the ball. So
and
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And that kind of segues into my second one is, why is every team trying to make running back committees? Like, have you noticed that? Like, have you
I think I have an answer for that. I think I do.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, I think for fantasy, it sucks, right? And I think it's frustrating as a fantasy football owner. But I think the reason for it is because the running back position is such a very short-lived position. Usually once people hit 30, that's kind of it. You know, there's some rare guys like Frank Gore. I mean, Barry Sanders was out by the time he was 30.
Henry.
Derrick Henry is one of those guys. I don't know if he's going to play as long as Frank Gore, but just in general, like he's doing pretty good in his, like, he's like 31, 32. But there's not very many guys that after that age will keep up that same production. So I think they're trying to start drafting younger guys and rotating them so they're not getting so much wear and tear. So that's my personal opinion on it, is like, that's why Justice Hill is probably taking some carries from Derrick Henry, because he is 31, 32, and they don't want him to have all that wear and tear on him if they want to make a run in the playoffs.
So I agree. And that was actually like part of my little argument for it. So,
my bad.
No, like I'm happy that you see it too. So you you get it too. So I'm like, okay, it's not just me. I'm not just like weirding out. So let me just like read this off just super quick. Sure. Here are teams that don't trade out, that don't rotate out the running backs. The Colts,
Okay.
5-1. The Bears,
Okay.
they just started kind of switching out
Right.
Swift a little bit,
Right.
right? This week, but they're 4-2.
Right.
The Bills with James Cook, they don't rotate them out, 4-2. Panthers, they now just found Rico Dottle. They're 4 and
Well,
3.
they're splitting, but they're
Right.
splitting now. Yeah.
Barely. We all know. We all know. We all know. The Niners, 5-2.
Oh, there's one man guy.
Exactly. Now, there are what I know this one
Genty.
sort of. But the Eagles are 5-2. Saquon is normally in majority of the time. They're 5-2.
Yeah. So is Genty. You forgot to add Genty, but the record sucks.
So, I do have a little section for that.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. The Bucks, I know Irving is hurt, right? But he's normally the starter. But they're 5-2. The Packers, they rarely take out Josh Jacobs. They're 4-1-1. You're starting to see the trend. Now losing teams who change out their running backs. The Titans, 1-6. The Ravens, 1-5. The Commanders, 3-4. The Chiefs, they are 4-3, but they look atrocious. Now, you have your little random ones, right? You have the Dolphins, right? They normally don't trade out a chain, but they're 1-6. The Falcons, sort of, but they never get rid of Bijan, right? The Jets, 0-7. Bengals, they keep Chase Brown majority of the time, but they're 3-4, and they're starting to come on the up. And then the Texans are a little wild on it too. They're kind of the randoms, right? Those ones are the random. The Raiders as well, right? The Raiders, 1-5. Those are kind of those random little anomalies. But if you notice, there are more winning teams who don't change out their running backs. Running backs right now is this weird situation, and I think that this is where coaches are trying to reinvent the wheel, is that every coach will tell you, you establish the run first. And you can't do that if you're rotating out your running backs. Everybody saw what Detroit did with Montgomery and Gibbs. And everybody's trying to recreate it, but you can't. Just understand who the starter is supposed to be. They are the anomaly. They're the one that figured it out. And now, with their offensive coordinator gone, you're starting to see Gibbs just be the number one and just call it a day. And they're starting to win. Keep your running backs. Feed your running backs. Establish the run. I don't know why coaches all of a sudden are changing this. And the stats show, if you keep rotating out your running backs, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Go back to the basics. Establish the run. Keep your running backs in and let them do what you pay them to do. Colts, prime example, dude. They never trade out Jonathan Taylor. The only one who steals his rushing touchdowns are Daniel Jones. He's the only one that's stealing them. Same with Saquon, right? Saquon gets his stolen by Jalen Hurts. So, but even though that, Colts are 6-1, Eagles are 5-2. So what do we do? It's not rocket science. I think the problem is they are trying to look for something that just isn't there. Sometimes the answer is so simple that you overlook it trying to think it's complicated, trying to think it's something else. So that's my little hot take, is that teams need to just get back to the basics.
Yeah, I have a little devil's advocate to that. I think, personally, I think that's more of an old school football. I think that's because that's the generation that we grew up in, where, coming from a wing T offense, you run the ball, right? That's all you do.
Wing
you run the ball.
Power eye, yeah.
Dude, you run the ball. So I do think that's a little old school. It's not bad because it does work sometimes. But that's kind of what John Gruden liked to do. Right? Gruden was big on that.
To me, I just see the statistics showing that if you just stick with the run and you stick with one running back, you win. It's as simple as that.
I think I would be interested to see what the statistics are for running backs who are over 30 that get over 20 carries a game and their
I
longevity.
agree.
And I
I
think
agree.
and I think that's where a lot of it's coming from because I agree with you. I think if you have your guy being the main
Yeah.
guy like Derrick Henry, Saquon, I mean Gentry just doesn't have offensive line, but some of these teams that where they're primed, they can be very good. But is Christian McCaffrey going to be able to do 26 carries a game? No, he's going to tear his ACL, hurt his knee, he's going to be done. I think
Right.
Derrick Henry gets hurt if he does over 20, 25 consistently, not one game, but consistently. I
Right.
think that's a lot of wear and tear on his body, especially that team who could possibly be the playoffs. I don't know about this year, depends when Lamar comes back, but in general, generally
Right.
speaking, they're a good team.
But see,
Um,
Shanahan did
so
that. Shanahan did that though with Christian McCaffrey, right? Like a couple years ago, right? They would just put him in for the first, second, and third quarter, and then come the fourth quarter, they would put in like Mason or Garendo, and then you would just watch them run all over the place. But by that time, Christian McCaffrey already did so much, you were good. You were good at that point.
yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one, dude. I think I can see both sides. I think
Yeah.
the Lions
Yeah.
being the Lions being the anomaly is because you had a number one guy in David Montgomery from Chicago coming over, who was already a number one bruising running back,
Yeah.
right? Not Derrick Henry level, but that was his that's what he is. He's a goal line
That was
back.
his shtick.
And then you had
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs as a young rookie coming in, receiving back. Wasn't really sure what his role was. Ben Johnson obviously is just an offensive wizard, but I think that's why they're an anomaly and why it worked. But not all of these teams have two number one backs. And I would argue there's not a lot of Derrick Henry esque new guys coming into the league. The
Right.
only guys that are crazy good right now is Bijan, Jameer, Omari and Hampton look good, and I think Genty with a better line would look good. And those
Right.
and Judkins. And that's
Right.
it. I don't there's three guys, four
The
guys. Like
the only three like actual bruising running backs of young running backs that I've seen is obviously Scatabo because that dude's just
him
literally
too. Yeah.
insane. That dude's just like literally CTE and insane. Um, then Dowdle, same way. Watched him. That dude just runs right at you. It's kind of wild. And then Judkins, he actually does a little bit trucking himself.
That boy's a
So
bruiser. Yeah.
yeah, and so I like they exist, but you're right. They are scarce. They're not as much. But
And
I
I
don't
think
know. It,
maybe that's what we're seeing too. Yeah.
maybe yeah. We're just seeing a weird shift.
And not to make it take forever, but it all goes back to the turf and why the turf is hurting all these players and why the people don't
Yeah,
last that long. But I don't
yeah,
want to go down that rabbit hole with you because
yeah.
we'll be here for
Fuck the
another
turf,
hour.
dude. Fuck the turf. Yeah,
But that's funny. But yeah, let us know honestly if you got to this point in the video and you're like, well, I have a different take, let us know because I'm really curious on what people think, especially with the whole turf situation with the running back committees. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to unpack there, in my opinion, and I think that'd make for a good discussion in the comments or maybe the Discord or honestly anywhere. Maybe this is something we talk about with Colby next week too when he comes back.
yeah, yeah.
I really like this topic. All right, everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And like I said at the top of this video, please comment. That'll help us push our show into the algorithm on YouTube and Spotify and on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else. We have our 99-cent membership, Founders Edition. I talked about it at the beginning of this episode. Please check that out. And kind of like I spoke about like a few seconds ago, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. We're everywhere. And you'll see a lot of stuff that we have going on there. And I am considering reopening the merch. So we have merch, but it's like only open like a couple times a year is when I like to do it. We got our shirts. X is wearing the hat. I got a hat. We got a couple hats. I don't know where they're at. They're somewhere. We got a bunch of hats. We got a Mexico heritage hat. We have a United States hat, United States shirt. Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3 logos. Filter breakdown merch. We have a little bit of everything. Winter's coming. Black Friday's coming. So if that's something you are interested in, let us know. We'll go ahead and open it up. You can get gift wrap. I mean, God, X's have gone on for days and days about all the different stuff we can
Boy,
make you guys candles, backpacks, collars, you name it. We got it. Underwear, t-shirts, button ups.
ooh.
Anyways, you get my
I
point.
know, I
Let us know if
know,
that's
I
something you'd be
know the
interested in.
boys. I know the fans are waiting for another merchandise video. Don't worry, I got the script ready. Got the
Next
script
week.
ready.
Next week you can drop that so we can go ahead and share it online. Yeah, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I know it was a long one. It's a lot of good information, and let us know what you think in the comments. Until next time, everybody. Peace.